Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another production for West Bend Community Cable, the public access channel. My name is Jim German, and today we're at the 4th Annual Sports Show and Seminar at Silverbrook School. With me today is Bob Hammond, who is in charge. Bob, how are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
It's a nice little show. Maybe you could tell us a few things about it. How many booths we have today, and spectators, and a couple of things that might be interesting for the folks at home.
Yeah, this is our 4th annual show that we put on, and we've probably got over 40 exhibitors between the sports card and the hunting and fishing type related ones.
40 exhibitors. As far as spectators, the parking lot was full, and it's Saturday morning. And how many people are you expecting today?
I don't know what we'll get. I think last year we had about 2,000. We expect to do better this year.
That's 2,000 for the weekend?
For the weekend.
Okay. Today and tomorrow, February 12th and 13th at Silverbrook School, 4th Annual, is put on by the Great Lakes Sport Fishing Ozaki County?
Yeah, the Ozaki chapter.
How many chapters are there, Bob?
There's one in Milwaukee, the Milwaukee chapter. There's one in Sheboygan. And then there's a couple up the lake further. They're all Lake Michigan clubs. All
Lake Michigan. What's your involvement with this Great Lakes Sport Fishery or Sport Fisherman Club?
I've been the president of the club for the last 6 years. And this year, or the last 4 years, including this year, I'm the chairman of the sports show.
Well, that's quite an accomplishment. Does anybody else run against you, or you're just fortunate enough to beat everybody?
Sort of unopposed usually.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. It's a good show, and once again, let's talk about the seminars. I'm looking at a clipping from the West Bend News, and how many seminars do we have? I can read these, but maybe you could say something about these too, Bob.
Yeah, there's 16 different seminars. Hunting and fishing, and I think there's a sports card one thrown in. And a lot of them are repeated both Saturday and Sunday.
It's pretty fascinating. If the people who are giving these seminars, they must be coming from all over. How do you get them here? Do you pay them, or obviously you invite them, but are they paid?
Some are paid and some are not. Some are on a voluntary basis.
Okay, and paid, I imagine, with the profits of the or the intake from the ticket prices.
Right.
Tell us how much. Tell us what the admission fee is.
The admission is $3 for people 19 years and older. From 12 to 18 or 12 through 18, it's $1, and under 12 free.
Okay, and I think we're going to be stopping at a number of these little booth areas here, and maybe even taking in a seminar. But I think I'll read these just for the folks at home, because who knows, we might get some people next year.
Sure.
who will be seeing this thing probably the following week. But first of all, we got locating lake and river muskies. I don't think I'm going to get into who's giving the seminar, but I'll give the seminar. Calling strategies. I'll tell you what, Bob, maybe you'd like to read these instead.
Read them off? Sure. Calling strategies and sequences for spring turkey hunting scenarios. Bluegills through the ice. Collecting sports cards. The Lake Michigan fishery, past, present, and future. The basics for kids fishing. And bass fishing techniques. A kids casting contest, and I guess I might mention something about that. Today is Saturday, and we got Kids Day on Saturday. It's something special we're trying. We got a special contest for the kids and special seminars, trying to get more kids involved in the sport of fishing.
Good. This will be, and you probably carry this theme through for the 5th annual, 6th annual, and so forth, right?
Right, I would expect to, yes.
Good.
And then we've got northern pike regulations. Boat safety, you should know, that's by the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Precision drifting for a little bait and knock walleye. Western hunting for elk, mule deer, and antelope. Rattling and calling techniques for whitetails. Great Lake sport fishing. Night fishing on Big Cedar and Little Cedar lakes. And we've got responsible pet ownership by the Kettle Marine Kennel Club.
Good. It's a good show. I'll tell you what, and once again, we didn't mention, but the sponsors for today's event.
Right, we got 2 major sponsors this year. Bob Fish, Cadillac, Pontiac, and GMC of West Bend. They sponsored our trout pond this year, which we're really very appreciative of. And then Hanson's Piggly Wiggly. They've got stores in Saukville, Slinger, Jackson, and Hubertus. They sponsored the printing of all our flyers and posters this year, and we thank them too.
Well, this is a very good show, Bob. In fact, I feel embarrassed that I haven't been to one of these things, and this is the 4th annual already. And of course, here I am invited to do this stuff, and finally I get a chance to see it, and you can count I'm going to be back. This has been very entertaining, and we're going to have a lot of fun here today. Bob, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and good luck to you in the 4th and the 5th and the 6th and all these annuals coming up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Bob.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Standing here at is what is the fish pond, and with Willie Roosh. Willie, you've got quite an investment here. What the heck's going on?
Well, first of all, we set this pond up last night, and in about 3 hours. And this morning we put 450 trout in, and we got some real nice trout, some half-pounders that are 11-12 inches long, and we also have about 15 to 20 trout that are approximately 15 to 16 inches long and weigh from 1.5 pounds to 2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
And as you can see, strictly for kids, we like to have them enjoy it, and they're having a lot of fun catching them. The big ones are being caught, and the small ones, and they're having a good time.
This looks like a lot of fun. How many, the burning question that I've got is how long did it take you to fill this thing? How many gallons of water you estimate that this thing contains?
I believe last night we had the city come in and pump the water.
What, a fire truck came in here?
No, they right off the fire hydrant.
Yeah.
And I think it took them about maybe an hour. I believe it's 8,000 gallons of water.
Where'd all these fish come from, Willie?
The Hideaway Trout Pond, which we have a sign down there.
Okay.
Hideaway Spring Trout. The owner is Ron Kinnick. He furnishes the fish. He's been furnishing the fish for us for the last 4 years.
I would guess you only pay for the fish that have been caught, and of course the rest of the fish get returned.
No, we tell them that we want 450 fish, and that's what we pay for. And the fish that we have left, at the end of the show, we sell them for so much a piece.
Okay. Interesting little concept. And who might the sponsor for this fish pond be, by the way, Willie?
This year we have a sponsor, which is Bob Fish, GMC.
Isn't that coincidental?
So he has really helped us and sponsored the trout pond, and we really appreciate it. It's really a great gesture.
And Willie, your responsibility for this thing, obviously, you must be in charge of all this?
Yes, I am the chairman, and Vern Coots is my co-chairman. We've been doing this together for the last 3 years, and we have a pretty good working relationship, and the fellows in the club help us run it, and we have a lot of volunteers, and it's really turned out to be a fun weekend for us.
Well, I'll say, and you just heard the announcement that time was up. Explain about the admission fee and how you go about how long the time that they have to fish.
Okay, for the adults, we charge $1.50, and for children 12 and under, it's $1. And this year we tried something a little different. We have what we call a package deal, where you get like the 6 children tickets for $5, so they get 1 free fishing. Or for adults, it's 4 tickets for $5, where they save $1. And we also have a combination where you can buy 3 children's tickets and 2 adults for $5. You save $1. And we allow 6 minutes for fishing for each time around.
Well, the fascinating part is that you can actually see the fish swimming around, and you can kind of aim your bait at the darn things and see if they'll bite. Tell us about those big ones. Have any of the big ones been caught yet?
Yes, we've seen about 3 or 4 of the real big ones been caught this morning already, and these people that pulled them out, they had a heck of a time getting them out too. We had to use a net to help them get them out.
This is the fun. Yeah, well, next thing you get some guy out here and some waders or maybe a little boat, and this looks like a lot of fun. And hats off to you guys for putting this all together.
We appreciate it.
Okay, well, nice talking to you, Willie, and good luck next year too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we just snagged one of the young fishermen here, and it looks like he's got a prize for the day. What's your name, young man?
Jason Van Lingen,
Where are you from?
West Bend.
Hey, did you have fun today?
Yeah.
What size have you got here, do you think?
12 inches.
Yeah, was it fun? It's a 12-inch trout, by the way. It looks like fun, huh?
Yeah.
What kind of bait did you use?
a fly.
Yeah, good, good. You gonna come back for some more?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, Jason, thanks for the interview. At the Long Lake Fishing Club, one of the 40 exhibitors, not 440, but one of the 40 exhibitors here today, or 40 or so. I'm with Dick Edwards. Dick, how are you today?
Real fine, Jim. Real
Yeah,
fine.
it's a good turnout. Tell us about yourself and maybe the club and what your function is in the club.
I live on Long Lake, and I've been involved with the Long Lake Fishing Club for about 10 years. We have about 400 members that belong to our organization from around the lake and also from throughout southeastern Wisconsin, many of them from the Milwaukee area that have property out there. We're a very active club. Last year at the Wisconsin Lakes Convention at Stevens Point, our club was awarded the State Stewardship Award for Groups for the Year, which is quite a prestigious award for a nonprofit organization like ours.
I think that's the one you were pointing to on the wall.
This one we just received for angler education. This is where we're involved here in West Bend at Sandy Knoll Park every spring, where we have about 200 kids that come in for a kids fishing clinic, and we teach them how to catch fish and then give them a chance to catch trout out at the park.
It sounds like a big club, 400 members, and how do you go about attaining more members? And maybe this would be a good opportunity for you to get some more.
We ask them to give us $10 and they become a member. We have a newsletter that we send out 4 times a year and have various other activities. This is one. We have a fishery, which we had last week, and a golf outing on the ice, which we had 2 weeks ago, and several other events that we hold throughout the year.
What about that 4th of July boat decoration parade? Do you still have that?
No, we stopped that one. We haven't had that for a couple of years. We did. That was a good one. Yeah, you were a judge one time.
Yeah,
weren't
you
you?
were.
That's right. That's right.
Well, this is fun.
Pretty involved. I want to give you something, Jim.
Oh,
Since you're
good.
such a Long Lake lover, you can pin that on your car or your forehead, wherever you want to put it.
Well, thank you very much, Dick. This will probably help hold the one of the fenders on for a while.
Right. Thanks, Jim.
And so thanks for the interview, Dick, and good luck maybe this year and the next year and all the other years too.
Well, good. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Folks, we're one booth away now, and maybe I'm here with a gentleman called Ken
Manthey.
Ken Manthey.
Right.
Ken, maybe you can tell us about your booth and what the heck you're selling here today.
Okay, well, we got lures, we got spoons, we got curly skirts, which is in the tank down here. This is the one that caught the 39-pound lake trout out of Lake Michigan on July of '92.
This one here, you say?
Yep,
Okay.
the curly skirt, yeah.
Okay,
Then
okay.
we've got marauders and spinner spoons and flashers, for fishing Lake Michigan.
It sounds like you're a distributor for all these items?
Yep.
You have a sports shop somewhere, Ken?
No, I make these. I make them.
Oh, you make these? These are all made in your basement somewhere?
Yep.
Well, what do you think of that, folks? Are you a member of the Great Lakes Sport Fishing Club, Ozaki County chapter and all that?
No, I'm a member of Salmon Limited, which is kind of the same kind of a club. Salmon Limited Club.
Okay. Where do you live, Ken?
Racine, Wisconsin.
Oh, you made quite a trip today. I bet you go every weekend someplace, huh?
We try to get a show someplace.
Okay. This is a fascinating little setup. You got an underwater bilge pump showing the action on these things. You getting a lot of people buying these things today?
Yeah, not too bad. The show's been pretty good. We've only been here since 10 o'clock. It's a couple hours, so.
You've been here before?
Yeah, 2 years in a row now.
Good.
Yeah.
How did you find out about it? Did you get invited, or you read the papers?
Yeah, Robert Hammett invited us, so.
Yeah, he's pretty active in this thing.
Yeah.
He's a big promoter.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Well, good. Ken, thanks for the little spiel, and good luck to your outfit here, and maybe we'll see you again next year.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You bet.
The other exhibitors here is the Rigamajig exhibit, and I'm here with a gentleman named Frank. Frank, what's your last name?
Frank Mebison,
And Frank, tell us where you're from.
Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. It's about 300 miles from here.
Turtle Lake.
On the west side.
Nice day for a drive, Frank, or what?
Yeah, beautiful day out
You
there.
come here 6 hours just to exhibit here at West Bend at the Silverbrook School. That's amazing. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
How often do you do this stuff? You're off on a trip every other weekend, every weekend?
No, this is something new for us. This is actually our only second show. We just came up with this idea this winter to start selling them.
Good. Well, Frank has invented something called a rigamajig, and Frank, here's your opportunity to get some airtime. Let's see what it does.
Well, when Mr. Crappie comes along, he pulls up the little flag. And if a northern or something comes along, he can go with the line without losing your pole. And just set it Just take the line. Whoop. Well, shoot.
I'll be Mr. Crappie, Frank.
Okay.
See, and when he tugs, it's just like a tip-up, only it's on a jig pole.
Yeah.
So what you've invented is this little gizmo here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, how do you make these things in your basement? It's a plastic mold deal or something? What's going on?
I made the mold, and then I had a plastic company, Hartzell's Manufacturing Plastics, make the parts for me, run the parts.
Good. It's another nifty little gimmick, and best of luck to you. Has it worked? Have you caught anything with it?
Yeah, it really seems to work well.
Yeah,
For crappies, any panfish, and like I say, if a northern or something comes, you won't lose your pull. You know, run with the line.
Yeah, good. Okay, Frank, well, thanks for the interview, and we'll probably see you again next year, huh?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Right now we're with Dave Ryan, and Dave's got a product that is going to be a benefit to all night fishermen, and of course anybody who does anything at night. Doesn't have to be fishermen, right, Dave?
Right.
Tell us what it is.
It's a light for in your live well or storage compartment. It runs on two 9-volt batteries. It's run on a mercury switch where when you open the lid, the light goes on. And it's good for live wells.
Yeah, this happens to be a cooler full of, in this case, soda, but I'm sure that it could also hold beer. But maybe you could show how this thing works. And if Frank or Ralph Manthey, our cameraman, maybe could get a camera inside here and take a look.
What you do is you just install the light with Velcro. You put it wherever you want, and you get some little Velcro strips here to hold the cord in place. And you just attach it here, and when you open the lid, the light goes on.
And that could be then for anything that you'd want to have a lid on, any kind of a tackle box, any kind of a cooler, any kind of
Right. We have a tackle box there with one in it.
Sure. And explain how this got invented and where you make these things, or how does it all work?
My brother Steve invented it. My dad needed one for his live well for on his boat. He has minnows inside his live well, and at night he was fishing and couldn't find them, and he asked my brother to just put a light together for him.
So
That's what he did.
Has it been going over pretty good?
So far he's been getting some orders. He has it in a magazine, and then today we were selling a few.
Good. Where are you from, Dave?
Germantown.
Good. Well, welcome to West Bend. We'll be seeing you again next year.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Maybe your brother can come here and do the work for you next year.
Yep. He'll be over later, actually.
All right. Well, good. Good luck to you, folks.
Thanks.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're on. It looks like we're here with a representative from the Sheboygan area Great Lakes sport fisherman. His name is Rodney. Rodney, what's your last name?
Arnhilter.
Okay, and where are you from, Rodney? Sheboygan something, right?
Right, it's Sheboygan Falls.
Okay, you're down here representing your sport fishing club, and as we heard earlier, it's one of the Great Lakes sport fishing chapters. And once again, how many chapters and what are they again?
There are 7 chapters in it, up and down on the Great Lakes here.
Okay, and that would be the Wisconsin chapter.
Right, exactly.
Okay. How many members do you have?
We've got 150 members in ours.
Okay.
I'm the president of the club and the vice president.
So that makes you have to come down here and
I'm the
do
guy
selling.
that's got to kind of do the selling of everything.
Oh, so when you set up an exhibit here in West Bend for our little sport show, do you actually sign up members for the Sheboygan?
Yeah,
club?
we just signed one up before from Kewaskum.
What? Because he fishes out of Sheboygan?
He fishes out of Sheboygan. He used to be a second shift worker. Now he's gone into first shift, and he just wants to join our club.
Who was that?
I'm not actually sure of his name. But we did sign one up this morning.
Okay, well, are you giving anything away? I'm collecting bumper stickers and all kinds of other stuff here.
Well, we're giving away Wisconsin. You're among friends. We're giving away. So
all right, good.
Chances at raffles.
Any of these little J plugs or anything else I can have?
You got me on the spot there.
No, I guess not. Okay, Rodney. Well, I hope you sign up a lot of folks, and welcome to our little sports show, and hope you come back again next year.
We'll be here.
Good, thanks, Rodney.
Okay, thank you.
Dale Perpish from Bob Fish, and of course you remember Bob Fish is one of our sponsors. Dale, what have you got here today? You got a beautiful truck that we're standing in front of. What is this? And then we'll go over and take a look at that one.
This is our 1994 GMC Sonoma pickup. And
Dale, stand over here. We'll do it this way.
This is our 1994 GMC Sonoma pickup. There's a whole array of different colors for it. This one actually looks like kind of like a hot pink color.
Well, it is beautiful.
Beautiful
Are all the colors this iridescent and spectacular?
Yes, many of them are on our new products. And for 94, our Sonoma pickup has been completely redesigned. Hence the new design, new colors, different engine available for it now for 94. And I think it's going to do real well for us.
I see. It's a beautiful truck, and it looks like a downsized truck, maybe something to compete with the foreign market. Is that what's happening here?
It can compete with some of the smaller foreign trucks. What's nice about it is it's built by our people in the USA, and parts are readily available for it also.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And while we're talking, maybe Ralph the cameraman, can take a look at that green job that you've got next to it. Explain that one.
Yeah, that's a 1993 GMC Sierra pickup. They're basically the same for 94. That one has a short box on it and has gone through a conversion company, so it'll have a little bit different paint scheme on it, has the running boards, and kind of a fancy leather interior on it also.
What do you get for something like that, and of course the one we're standing next to?
Something like the teal color truck there would run somewhere in the low 20s, and the Sonoma pickup that we have here, that would be somewhere around 12 or so.
Well, that's actually a pretty good deal, I would think, huh?
Yes, it is. The prices, some vehicles are available for a little bit lower, again, depending on what type of option content. And at Fish, we have completely run the gamut as far as pickups go. We have entry-level pickups as far as equipment, all the way to fully loaded pickups. Being the #1 GMC dealer in the state of Wisconsin, we always have a large inventory on hand all the time.
Well, that's quite something to say, Dale. The number one GMC dealer in the state of Wisconsin. That's a lot of territory to cover.
Yep. That's per GMC zone records, and all the guys and gals over there worked real hard to obtain this, and the Fish organization should be commended for it.
I'll say, and you can give the address or the location of Bob Fish, and then I'll say something else about that.
We're on Highway P, just south of West Bend, actually right in West Bend, so we're real easy to find.
Highway P, that's the old Highway 45, and if you've ever driven past Bob Fish, the entire front line is all trucks and vans, and I wonder if you even have a personal car in there, a regular car.
We have a full assortment of Pontiacs, Cadillacs, GMC trucks, light duty, medium duty, and also medium duty Isuzu trucks. So we like to think that we have something for everybody there.
Good. Do you have any intentions to build or move?
Not at this time, but Bob would probably be the guy to help you out with an answer to that.
Okay, well, it's just small talk.
We're doing pretty good in our location right now, and looks like we'll be there to stay.
Okay, well, Dale, I appreciate the little interview, and good luck with, I imagine you're selling cars here right as we're talking, right? People coming by and buying a few of these things?
People are showing a lot of interest here at the show, and all the people here being hunters or fishermen, different kind of breed of people, everybody's real easy to talk to in that, and we've had a lot of interest in the truck so far, so it should be good, and with Bob sponsoring the trout pond that we have here, it's some real good publicity for Bob.
Right, it actually makes a very good sponsor with the name and all.
Absolutely, he likes to get involved in a lot of worthwhile causes. This guy's got a pretty big heart, and this is one example of it. So everything has been real good so far, and people have showed a lot of enthusiasm over the products and a lot of interest also.
Good. Well, thanks for the little interview, Dale, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. With Gene Johnson at the Keith Marina exhibit, and Keith, tell us about your exhibit here and what you do for Keith Marina.
Okay, what I do for Keith Marina is I basically help them at the shows. I do fish walleyes professionally, and their name is on the side of my boat, so this is just time to give them some time back, for what they do for me.
They're kind of a sponsor for you. They give you parts and something like that.
Right, they give me parts and help me with boats, motors, and keep me running all summer long.
All right, Gene, since you've got a display of 4 boats, and I think that's in several motors, maybe we could take a quick rundown on what you've got showing.
Okay, what we got showing here is basically 4 of about 100 plus boats that we have on display on Highway 33. The first boat that we have is really a 16-foot bayliner. It's a package boat with a 70 Mariner on it. It's a 16-foot that they brought back out to give somebody a smaller cruising boat. The next boat is a straight Spectrum Brunswick boat with a 25 horse Mercury on it. Again, it's a straight 16-foot fishing boat. Great for lakes like Big Mosquito and all your inland lakes.
While we're doing this, Gene, let's go over some of the prices. The Capri, the 16, the brand new 16-foot, because they had dropped the 16-foot for several years. Some of the prices.
Yeah, package price on the Capri is about $7,600.
And that's including dealer prep, setup, and the motor and trailer?
Yeah, that's water ready.
Okay. Oh, good. Now this 16-foot?
This 16-foot Spectrum here, water ready, you'd be looking at about $4,300.
Okay. This is aluminum with what size motor?
25.
Okay.
Electric start Mercury.
Okay, with a tiller. Next we have. Let me get out of here, or else wait. Gene, stay right there.
Right.
Good.
The next boat that we have is a Resorter with a 40 horse force engine on it. That's definitely a Mercury Marine engine. Some people at this time in their life are still concerned that this is an old Chrysler engine. It is not. Mercury now is building these engines at the Mercury plant. Everything in this engine is Mercury, except for the power plant. The ignition, the lower unit, the prop is basically interchangeable parts with Mercury, so there's less concern about this. This boat's running about $6,300 water ready.
Okay, boy, there is some real valuable information for the Force motor. I think you're right. It had a bad rap for so long, but maybe now since Mercury's taking it over, maybe that'll go away, huh?
Yeah, it's not a Chrysler anymore. We hear at every show that we go to, well, that's a Chrysler engine, and people had some real problems with Chrysler engines in the years past. This 40 Force motor is as good as any motor out in the buying community, and it's a motor at this point that really doesn't have oil injection, but can put a blend oil system on it, to make it close to an oil injection system.
Once again, when did Mercury start taking over this Force motor?
I believe Mercury took it over in 91.
Okay, so it's been pretty recent.
Right.
And this 16-foot bayliner behind us that we introduced first, that used to come out with Force motors all the time. Was that a Force motor on that also, that you said a 70 horse?
Right. Right now that's a package plan from Brunswick. It's a boat, motor, and trailer package, and it comes with a 70 horse Force engine on it.
Okay, very good. Okay, and I think we got one more to take a look at then.
Now this boat is a 142 Pro Mag. If people have been watching TV, they've seen this ad on TV for Keith's Marina. This boat has been on the TV and in the paper for $34.95. As it sits here, the only thing that's add on to it right now is that there's a front trolling motor for about $300. But this is a 25 horse tiller, 14-foot boat, which is also another good boat for the smaller inland lakes that we have around here.
Well, and it sounds like the price is pretty right. And of course, that front end trolling motor is not thrown in. It's an additional $300.
Right, it's a $300 package. We just put it on there just to show people that yes, you can put a front trolling motor on a little 14-foot boat too.
Oh, well, you bet. It's really a nice looking boat. When you quoted that price, does that include again the trailer and dealer prep and all that?
Right, that's water ready.
Good. Well, have you had any luck so far? Have you sold any of these things?
Well, again, I'm not here really to sell. I'm here to show. Being only 2 miles away from here, most people are going to go down to our shop and look at all the boats that we have, and then they're going to buy one down there.
Okay, Gene, and one other thing. You said you were a sport fisherman. Are you, what do you call those things?
Tournament?
No. Do you take out charters? That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I really am not licensed guide in the state, and I'm not basically a charter captain. I have friends that I take fishing, but I basically fish tournaments with a partner, and I have the same partner all the time.
All right, good. Well, it's been nice talking to you, Gene, and best of luck in the next tournament season.
I hope to have some. Thank you.
Good, you're welcome. George Hagee today, and George, maybe you'd like to tell us what your function is here and what kind of exhibit you've got.
Okay, well, Outdoor Connection packages fishing and hunting trips. We currently represent over 60 fishing lodges and hunting outfitters all across North America. and literally every kind of fishing and hunting that a person may want to do in North America, we have something for them. We're in Alaska, Canada, all across the U.S., Costa Rica, Mexico, Grand Caymans. I think probably the nicest thing about Outdoor Connection is the fact that we pre-screen the lodges. We actually go out and fish with the lodge owners and guides and go hunting with the hunting outfitters as part of the process.
George, where are you from? Where's your organization work out of?
Okay, I'm in Milwaukee, and we have about a little over 35 franchise operations spread throughout basically the Midwest at this point, and we're headquartered in Minneapolis.
Okay. I can see a number of brochures here with pictures, and I imagine these are representing all your places, including Costa Rica. My goodness, you get out of town, don't you?
Yes, a lot. We provide basically a lot more information on the facilities than a person is used to finding. At sports shows, we've got videos that I can show people. We've got our inspection reports. We've got all our brochures, rate lists. When I go, I've already been to 15 of the 60 already, and when I go, I take slide pictures that I can show people. Plus, having been there, I can give them my personal first-hand rundown on the facility, what the accommodations are like, fishing, things like that, which basically fishermen and hunters are looking for.
Good night. George, how do you get these places? Do they request that they come online with you, or do you go out there and check them out and then ask them to join up with you? What's the connection?
It basically works both ways. Since we're getting bigger every month, a lot of fishing and hunting lodge owners are coming to us and asking for representation, and we also seek out new fishing lodges and hunting outfitters, so it works both ways.
Good. And once again, if somebody wanted to go through your outfit, how would they get a hold of you?
All they have to do is basically, I'm in the phone book, or they can come here and pick up some of our newsletters and flyers. Our services are rendered at no cost. I come out to people's homes and offices.
Okay. And the name of your outfit again?
It's Outdoor Connection.
Okay, I guess that's a good enough advertisement, don't you think, George?
That should do it.
Well, good. I wish you a lot of luck in the future then.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Paul Miller, and Paul is one of the two boat sellers today. And Paul, welcome to West Bend Silverbrook School. How are you today?
Just fine, Jim. Thank you.
What have you got for us today?
Well, we're selling Princecraft boats, Sylvan boats, Evinrude motors, Shorelander trailers, Princecraft trailers. You name it, we'll find it for you.
Okay, now the boat, you brought one boat today with you, Paul?
That's all we had room for here today.
Okay. Explain what you've got here, and then maybe a little bit about your organization, where we can find it.
Well, this is the new Princecraft 167 side console fishing boat. It's a company owned by Evinrude, and the boats are made up in Princeville, Quebec.
Princecraft, I haven't heard of that. Is that a new model, new make?
Well, it's not new for Canada. It's probably 80% of the sales in Eastern Canada are Princecraft boats.
Okay.
And it's a boat that's made in Canada, made for Canadian waters, made out of the strongest aluminum in the industry, and made for basically bouncing off of rocks, and one of the best hulls you're going to find anywhere. OMC bought the company about 4 years ago, and we've just taken it on the line the last 2 years, and it's done real well for us. People have really been excited over it.
Big seller, huh?
Big seller.
That $89.95 showstopper includes the motor, the trailer setup, all
everything you see, water ready. Gas in the tank, oil in the tank. I'll take you out on the lake, we'll turn the key and go fishing.
And I guess you could use this, well, I don't know, maybe 40 horsepower might be a little bit small for water skiing, though, but maybe for the kids, huh?
A little small maybe for water skiing, but you put a 50 horse on here, and I guarantee you could slalom ski behind it. This particular boat's got such a wide beam on it, it planes real easy. You can plane it with a lot less horsepower.
Okay, well, tell us where your sales is, or where your business is, Paul, and maybe you can generate a little business out of this.
We've been located for the last 50 years out on Highway 57 and K out by Random Lake, and we sell new and used cars, the marine end, boats, motors, trailers, the whole works.
Kind of like
it's a family-owned organization. My two brothers own the business. I work for them.
All right, all right. Well, good. Welcome to West Bend. Welcome to Silverbrook School. And have you been here the last 4 years?
Oh yeah, ever since it started. We've
Okay,
been here.
you'll be
And
back.
We've done real well every year.
You'll be back again next year. Do you go
Absolutely.
to these things every sports show, every boat show that you can get?
Every one we can find. Yeah, we go to about a half dozen a year. We try to get into.
Good. Well, I might even. I know I've stopped out there a few times and looked around your lot. Just never had the money to buy any of their stuff.
We'll have to work on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nice talking to you, Paul. Good luck
to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. With Phyllis Cook, and Phyllis, you're representing. Tell us about your business. Who are you representing?
The Kettle Marine Kennel Club.
Okay.
And we are giving out information for the groups that we work with, which is the Dog Federation of Wisconsin or the Defenders of Animals. And so we have literature from AKC for the Kennel Club and the literature for the other two organizations.
Okay, and how do you go about joining the Kennel Club? Obviously, you need a dog or some kind of a hunting dog, purebred dog or something?
A purebred dog. The best thing to do is make an application through the secretary, Bernice Brando, and
Okay. And what advantages would you have to become a member of the West Bend Kennel Club?
We do an awful lot of community things. First of all, you have to have a purebred dog. We show dogs. Basically, we do an awful lot of community things like pet therapy and this type of thing, and many things for the community.
Would people then show their dogs through you, or they would go as a group? Would they go along, or would you show them how to show a dog?
Yes, we will. We will.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now who's the gentleman on your right with the interesting
This is
animal?
Chris.
Chris, what's the name?
Chris Carlton.
Chris, you had something to tell us about this dog. What the heck is it? And tell us all that you can.
I'm just trying to let the people that are avid hunters and whatnot in the area know a little bit more. This is a Munsterlander. I've been sitting here most of the morning, and people have been saying it's a Springer Spaniel it's a Springer Spaniel, or it's a Brittany Spaniel with a long tail. It's neither. It's a Munsterlander. It's a German pointing dog, and just let the people know in the area that it's very credible as an upland game bird hunting dog in the area. Right now she's kind of tired, got an awful lot of attention this morning.
Do you breed these? Do you sell these? Where does this dog come from?
I received this dog from Ned Sengpil and Barbara Krieger. They are more into that line of work. Basically, I just got her as a pet and for a hunting companion at home and whatnot.
Okay. Does it hunt pretty good?
It is a great hunter. She's very good at tracking birds, very good at finding birds, and pointer. Basically, they told me when I had purchased her that they're more of a dog that can do it all in our avid hunting conditions.
Where would somebody get one of these things if they wanted one?
I would contact Ned or June Sengpil in Kewaskum, Wisconsin.
Okay. Well, thanks, Chris. Interesting dog.
Thank you.
Take care of it.
Bye-bye.
I'm here at one of the highlights of the West Bend Sport Show. This is the free antique lure appraisal exhibit, and there's some 3,000 items displayed. I'm here with Gary Cripps.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, where are you from, Gary?
Marshall, Wisconsin.
Marcia?
Marshall.
Where is that?
It's about an hour west of here.
Okay. Well, you've been advertised here as giving free appraisals for antique lures, and obviously you've got some 3,000 lures set up. Tell us how you got into this stuff and how long you've been doing it.
Well, about 20 years now, and I guess I do it the same way everyone else does. I bought a box at a garage sale and became interested in finding out what I had, so I had to do some research, and that just seems to be catching, I guess.
And where's Marshall, Wisconsin?
It's right on Highway 19, between Watertown and Madison.
Oh, so it isn't that far away. I was
No.
thinking something I haven't heard of. It must be a long ways away.
Well, it's a small town.
You get to do a lot of these things throughout the season?
No, I don't. Not particularly. I run a regular business, so this is just strictly a hobby for me. And
you don't go to sports shows every weekend?
No, I do not.
Well, okay. Well, that's.
I enjoy them, but I don't have the time.
Actually, then I think that's a feather in West Bend's sports show that you came here.
Well, I enjoy it. It was a new show to me. I hadn't been here before, so I was willing to try it.
Well, good. I'm glad you came out. This is a fascinating booth, and I'd like I'd like you to show some of the stuff. In fact, if we could just make a quick rundown of some of all the things that we're taking a look at. We'll start on this end right here.
Okay. I have things displayed in some fashion. In this case, it's by manufacturer for the most part. This happens to be a box of all head and baits made by the head and bait company.
How old do you think some of the stuff is?
There's items in here from right at the turn of the century, 1900, right on up through probably the 40s.
Is that right? Can you tell? Are they identified by a year somehow?
You just have to know them.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's keep on moving.
These are, again, they're made by Head and Bait Company, but usually appeal to ladies very much because of the shape and color of them.
What kind of fish would they appeal to?
They're called a bass. They're bass, but they're called a head and pumpkin seed.
Okay, good. Sound like Bill Skadden. Good.
These are some old rubber baits, and they're unusual because they were made in the 1920s. Rubber deteriorates very rapidly when exposed to light, and so it's unusual to find them in good shape.
Those are some big June bugs or whatever they might be, huh?
Unusual, the butterfly type design, very, very unusual.
Okay.
Not cataloged.
Okay.
Another way of just displaying a collection, and I do this for interest at the show, but it's frogs. Everything related with frogs, either in color, shape, or design.
And once again, these could be as old as 90-some years also?
That's correct, sure. There are some old ones from the 20s and right on up through the 40s and 50s.
Gary, I got a feeling that none of this stuff is for sale. You're just showing it to get it out, get the mirror.
That's right. I'm just here displaying and obviously to develop some leads where I might be able to purchase some items and add to the collection. That's my whole purpose.
And folks can come in here and bring in their old casting rod and their old whatever they got. And
that's right. Very, very happy to take a look at it and give them an appraisal or a value.
And maybe even buy it.
I would buy if I'm interested and could add to my collection.
Okay, well, let's take a look at some more.
Okay. This is Shakespeare equipment, and it dates from the right around the turn of the century, 1910, 1911.
They made them out of old 30-millimeter cannons or something.
But at that time, aluminum was very, very valuable because the process hadn't been developed to the degree it is today. So these were very costly baits to make at that time.
It looks like a bullet.
Yeah, it does, but they're hollow metal and they float. Very good bass lures.
Here is a bullet.
Well, it's marked
3006 bullet.
It was made by Shakespeare, and it's an oiler. You screw the top off, and it held the oil that you dab on your reel to oil the reel. This is a case of Winchester manufactured items, and Winchester went out of business in about 1923 as far as the tackle is concerned. So these all date from about 1916, 17 on up to about 1923, and then of course there was some product still available. But that's why this is unique, because made for a very short period of time.
When you say Winchester, I wonder if that's
This is the gun company.
Oh, so they made fishing equipment and said, let's stick with the guns. Huh?
Yes, at one point they decided to get out of it, but makes it rather difficult to find.
You know, I asked you before if you were giving a clinic today, but and you said no, but apparently you must give clinics on this stuff.
I have done it for shows on other occasions, yes. Mm-hmm.
When you do that, do you get do you get a fee for it?
No, I do not. No.
Just for fun,
It's just for the same basis as here, trying to discover new equipment and interest others in it. It's
fun. You going to be here tomorrow also?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Leave it set up, go home, come back?
Yes, they provide security here, and we just leave it here and trust in everything.
Okay.
These are moonlight baits. And again, the Moonlight Bait Company was in business from the turn of the century, around 1900 until 1927, when they sold out. A lot of color and a lot of very unusual shapes were made by this company, and that's of interest to me, particularly the odd shape type baits. The picaroon down in these types of baits are called a picaroon and very unusual. Ladybugs, for whatever reason.
Let's take the picaroon for example. How much would that be worth?
The bottom one there, the large musky size, is about a $200 bait.
That much? Okay, so the next question is, what's the most expensive piece that you're showing today?
There's a number of baits that run in the $1,000 range here.
Well, when we get to one, would you show it, point it out?
Okay.
Okay. Now let's take a look what we have here.
These are baits made by the Paw Paw Bait Company, and Paw Paw bought out Moonlight in 1927 and then went on up through the 1950s in their manufacture.
I'm kind of familiar with these things here. I think that's
A fish decoy.
a sturgeon deal, isn't it?
Well, it's a decoy, fish decoy. It could be used for any type of species.
And that little item there probably weighs about a pound, maybe. Pound and a half?
It's weighted, so it sinks very fast.
And once again, what are their functions? Fish decoy to do what?
For spearing. And it was legal to spear fish, in Wisconsin, particularly Minnesota and Michigan, though. Of course, it's unique to the upper Midwest where you had ice. Obviously, you couldn't get out on the ice to spear otherwise.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking the only thing legal to spear is sturgeon at this point. That's why I thought it might have been used for sturgeon, but
no. At one time, it was legal to spear all types of fish.
So when you say a decoy, would the fish come over and try and eat it, or
it's either a curiosity or they were looking for food, but they would come over to look at it. And if you put those down the hole, they have a really neat swimming action. They'll sink rather fast, but then as you pull them up, the fish will tend to swim like a bait fish would.
Okay.
And so it attracts the game fish over.
Okay, and then of course it'd be more economical than buying live bait all the time to throw down or to try and find.
Much more effective, obviously. That's why it's not legal today.
I see. Well, that's good. Here we got some spring lures of some kind.
Sure. Here we are in a couple of these valuable baits, like we were saying. The wire bait here is approximately $1,000 in value. Very, very unusual. It was made by the Detroit Minnow Tube Company in Detroit, Michigan, around 1910, 1911.
I guess that would appeal to the slinky bass then?
Well, what it was designed to do is to open it up and slip a minnow into it so you wouldn't lose your minnow. You could fish over and over again. But I think...
Put a minnow in there. That's crazy.
I think like most baits, it wasn't too effective. It probably had, subject to damage very easily. So
here's the shock absorber technique. What?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I don't have a background on that right now. You just pick up some items that just look kind of neat and you put them in there too.
Gary, are you sure that this is even a fish lure? That fell out on somebody's car.
Or came off their bed spring. Yeah,
that's right. This is fascinating. This is really fascinating. What else have we got here?
Fly rod baits. It's another whole way of collecting. And just coming up with fly rod baits, a lot of different companies were in the business of making fly rod baits, and it adds to the color and fun of collecting. And there are collectors that collect nothing but that.
So now we're going to get into some of the. I don't know, Gary. We'll get your face to the camera here.
There's glass minnow traps. Are kind of unique, and this one is because it's a stand-up, but you can find glass minnow traps in many, many different shapes and designs. And for me, just to fill them up with old-time bobbers is, kind of an attractive display.
Sure, I see. And of course, the minnow swims in and can't figure out how to get out again.
That's right. That's true. The other items that you could...
Wait a minute, I'm in the wrong place, I get a feeling.
Okay.
Here we go. Well, no.
Let's switch around.
We're gonna walk backwards on this display.
This is another one of those very high-priced baits, okay, and it's called Michigan Lifelike Minnow. And very unique, made for a short period of time, and just very collectible.
Looks like it's hinged in about 4 different places.
That's right. It's segmented and it wiggles as it comes through the water, but hinged is the right term for it.
Okay, good.
Old tackle boxes are a lot of fun to collect because they're made in many, many different shapes and styles. This happens to be a Winchester again, and as we explained, Winchester is difficult to find. Of course, you fill it up with old tackle, and it makes an attractive display, and it's just enjoyable. We have a lot of cases along the back here, and again, the same things apply on those cases. They're made pretty much set up by manufacturer. Paw, some Abergass stuff, Wilson. The box in the middle is kind of nice because all of those baits were made in Wisconsin. So I enjoy the color and diversity of the baits made just in Wisconsin. Those are everything in this case. And we've got some very old baits, Chippewas, right in the middle here, made in Blair, Wisconsin. And they were only made for 2 years, about 1913 and 1914, and they're extremely difficult to find.
And as a result, they're quite valuable, I'm sure.
That's correct. The process for making them was very expensive, so the guy didn't last very long in business. He couldn't charge what he had to have to produce them. So,
looking at all the things that you have in it is a fascinating. It's actually a beautiful display. How long does it take to set this thing up?
Actually, I've got it down now I can get it all set up in about an hour's time. but it takes probably longer to pack it in the car.
And you can get it all in the car. I'm thinking you must have a van or a trailer or something.
I have a minivan, yes, yeah. So that works out very nicely.
And once again, do you travel around for these things? Do you go to a number of different shows?
Not a lot, no. I just don't have the time to take away from my regular business to do a great number of shows.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the interview, and it's been fascinating, and I'm hoping we'll see you again next year, right?
Perhaps we will.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Good, thank you, Gary. Well, I'm with Dan Small, and folks, those of you that watch Channel 10 are familiar with Dan. He's an Outdoor Wisconsin representative. And Dan, how are you today?
Doing all right, Jim.
Good, good. Tell us what you've got here today, and of course, I'm going to ask you about this little turkey call later. But tell us what brings you to West Bend and what you all have.
Well, we wanted to see what this show is like, and we try to make as many shows as possible. We're doing about a show a weekend throughout the winter months, and we came here with our boat, motor, and trailer that we're raffling for our program, Outdoor Wisconsin. It's a benefit, promoting our banquet, which is going to be this month on the 23rd, and also selling our shirts, hats, videos, cookbook, Fish Wisconsin, and several other books that we have, along with deer decoys, turkey decoys, deer targets, and, of course, the turkey calls that everybody wants to know about.
All right. Dan, you said that you're raffling the boat. Of course, is that just for this show's exhibit, or have you been raffling it for most of the season?
Well, we started the raffle about a month ago, and it's going to be over this month, the 23rd, so it's just through the winter.
Okay. How many folks are with you today?
I have volunteered. Jerry Krakow was with me until about 2 o'clock, and then I have someone else coming in at 2.
Okay, you'll be back again tomorrow, I'm sure.
I'll be here all day tomorrow.
And the most important question is, how about next year?
We'll have to talk to the promoters. We don't know yet.
Are you finding a pretty good crowd, pretty responsive?
It's a good crowd, it's a good show, and people are very interested in what we have, so I probably would be coming back, yeah.
Well, there is a lot of people, there are a lot of people here, and of course you can tell that by the parking lot. You can't find a place to park out there.
Well, I got here early enough, so I did find a place. I don't know what it's like out there. I hear it's snowing right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I guess you're not getting any cabin fever with all the traveling you're doing this winter.
No, I've been pretty busy.
Well, yeah, as I explained before off camera, I want to hear about this turkey call that you've got. You're grabbing everybody's attention here, and I was kind of fooling around with it before. Show us how that thing works, and I guess, what, this one?
Yeah, we'll go with this one here.
Okay.
Well, this is a Rod Benson box call, and there are lots of calls on the market, and this one, like many box calls, consists of a hollowed-out box, 2 rails, and a paddle, and you put chalk on the paddle, and you can make a variety of turkey sounds with this. The basic yelp. You can cluck with it. You can cackle with it. Turn the box upside down, hold the paddle in your left hand, and if you put the rubber band on it, you can even gobble with it. So it's a lot of calls in one. It's a real versatile turkey.
Look out, Dan, there's turkeys all over this place.
Well, I guess there are, yeah.
And how about this other little cute, this is another Rod Benson deal?
Now this is a one-handed box call called a cackle box, and this is a call that a kid can learn how to call turkeys with in 5 minutes. It's real simple. It's a push-button call, and all you do is push that button. And again, you can get a variety of calls. You can do the yelp, you can cluck, and you can cackle. You can do a purr. And some people even tape this to the forearm of their shotgun so that they don't have to move while they're calling their turkeys.
Yeah, it's cute.
Pretty handy.
Are you selling these things today?
You bet. I'm selling them like hotcakes. I'm all out of box calls except my demonstration models, and I'm running out of the cackle box.
Okay, and what do you get for these things?
The cackle box sells for $12. The box calls are going for $13, and the mouth calls, which we still have plenty of, the reeds are $3.95.
I see that you have apparently a deer call.
This is a deer call, yeah.
I've seen a lot of these things, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it correctly. Maybe you'd like to give it a try.
I don't know if I'll do it correctly because we don't have a deer here to let us know, but this is what a deer call sounds like. And another nice thing about this is another Rod Benson call. Nice thing about this model is it's adjustable. That was an adult buck, and you can go down to the doe And if you want to sound like a fawn in distress, you can go right down to the fawn just by sliding that little O-ring. So you have several calls in one.
Are you selling those today, Dan?
I'm selling these too, that's right.
What do these things get?
These go for $12.95. And we have a cassette tape that will help you learn how to do either the turkey call or the deer call.
Well, I think all you owners of these types of calls can now use them correctly. I think when you buy these things, does it come with instructions?
Well, usually there are instructions on the back of the package, and the Rod Benson calls all come with at least rudimentary instructions. Most people have seen a couple of videos, or they've been out with a partner who knows how to do it, and so they learn that way. And we do sell the tapes as well that explain how to do it.
Does anybody else make these types of calls? Rod Benson, everything else?
Yeah, this is just one line. I carry the Rod Benson line. There are many different lines of calls.
Okay, and maybe one last thing about the boat. And maybe I guess it's too late to buy a ticket by the time anybody sees this. But what kind of boat are you raffling off?
Well, this is a 14-foot Alumacraft John boat with a Shorelander trailer and a 9.9 horse Mariner outboard. Total package value is probably about $2,500, and we're raffling it off for $2 a ticket or 3 for $5. And people can get those tickets at our banquet, February 23rd at the Country Inn, if this airs in time.
Okay, well, of course, if it doesn't, there's always next year, and you'll be doing this again next year for folks who want to be ahead of time.
We'll be doing something like this again next year.
Okay, and where does the proceeds go for this?
The proceeds go to Support Outdoor Wisconsin, which is entirely viewer-supported. We get our funds from the raffle at our banquet. We get our funds from contributions by individual people who decide to become members of the Friends of Outdoor Wisconsin during our regular pledge drives. Contributions also from corporations who are underwriters of our shows and special events like our banquet.
And of course, that's public channel 10, 36?
10 and 36, that's right.
Okay.
Channel 10 produces Outdoor Wisconsin.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you today, Dan, and best of luck to you with this thing, and of course your Outdoor Wisconsin show.
Well, Jim, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. What sports show would be complete without a talk without a conversation with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources? I'm here with Tom Brzezinski, is it?
Yes, it is.
Welcome to our little sports show, Tom. Tell us what you've got for the folks here today.
Well, basically, we're just answering questions of people who come to see us and handing out some brochures and things which describe a little bit about what we in the Lake Michigan Work Unit do, and also some of our other field stations. We've got information on some of the management programs that the Plymouth office carries out, and just general regulation information.
Okay. You're from what? Which office is it?
The Lake Michigan Work Unit in Milwaukee.
Okay.
So we handle Lake Michigan from Sheboygan to Kenosha.
How many offices are there throughout the state?
Throughout the state, boy, quite a few.
Okay.
In our district, we've got field stations we have, of course, our district headquarters in Milwaukee, and we have field stations at Bong, Plymouth.
When you say our district, is West Bend in your district?
Yes, Southeast District. Yes, it is.
How many districts are there?
In the state, we have the Southeast, the Southern District, Western District, North Central, Northwest, and the Lake Michigan District.
Oh, that's quite a bit. What's the most popular question that you've been getting today?
Hard to say. One of the popular questions is about any changes in the regulations. What do we have coming up as far as rule changes? And one of them has to deal with back trolling for muskies. That's going to be an issue for the spring hearings. And another is generally just what's new in the regulations. Are we proposing any new size limits, things like that?
The bass going to go back to 12 inches pretty soon?
Probably not. We're seeing some success with the higher size limits. Largemouth bass is a pretty popular species, so we'd like to have a more quality fishery. So we're thinking of doing a similar thing with northern pike, and
really,
we'd like to have a 26-inch size limit in the southern part of the state.
Well, I think that'd be a good idea too. Actually, there's no need to take the small northern out.
Yeah, what we want to do is protect the fish until, especially the females, until they spawn twice, and that would be about 26 inches.
Speaking of 26, you guys got in a little bit of a jam with that panfish limit last year, didn't you?
Yeah, panfish are that's another hot issue this year, I think, too. It's always going to be. How many can you take? What size can you take?
Just for the record, explain what the heck happened there.
Well, we're trying to manage panfish so we can have a quality fishery. And on a lot of lakes, we were seeing a lot of stunted populations, and we put into place some regulations that would hopefully lead to more quality-sized fish. And some people really liked the idea, and other people didn't like the idea. And it all comes down to a question of how many fish do you need to catch in your average fishing trip, and what constitutes a quality panfish in Wisconsin. So dropping bag limits and things like that sometimes meets with opposition.
Well, I'm trying to get to the bottom line here. I think the brochure, the pamphlet, was published with, 26 or something as a limit, and then after it was published, it was changed to 50 as it was always.
Yeah, in the pamphlet it was suggested. Oh, in the regulations.
In the regulations,
yeah,
you bet.
Misprints happen.
That was a flat-out misprint?
Well, I could ask one of our people that's here.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
But that would be my feeling. That was simply a misprint. We've had misprints in the regulations before, so.
Okay, so it never meant to be reduced from 50. It was 50 going in. It just happened to appear what at 25 or
25.
Okay, that would be cutting the limit in half. You know, one thing I've always said, and I hope this doesn't sound funny, but you have in the regulations, the fishing regulations that you get with your fishing license, it has the limits on the fish, the bag limit on each fish, the size limit on each fish, identifies each fish by its name, but it doesn't have an identifying picture to accompany it. And a neophyte, a young gentleman, any person starting fishing would know what he can catch, what size he can catch, but not know what it is when he caught it.
Sure. Some other states, Illinois and Indiana and such, they do have accompanying pictures. That's a good idea. It would be nice to do.
Just another page.
Our regulation pamphlets are always dynamic. We're always trying to make them so they convey the best information to the public. So that's a great idea. We'll have to pass that idea along up the chain of command.
Yeah, well, good. Give me something for it, all right? Okay, well, Tom, I appreciate your coming to our little show here.
Well, it's good to be
Welcome
here.
to West Bend. I imagine you're going to have to be here the rest of the day and maybe tomorrow.
Well, my relief is coming shortly. We're going to have 4 people from our work unit working the sports show this weekend, and a couple other people stopping in from time to time to man the booth and answer people's questions.
You'll be back again next year?
Certainly,
Good.
certainly.
And I think one other question that just popped up: the lakes around West Bend, Washington County. The panfish, the fish in those lakes, aren't stunted. They are not stunted. Isn't that correct?
Well, the fish manager at Plymouth, John Nelson, would be better able to answer that question, but certainly in some lakes you're going to have stunting. Which specific ones in this area have stunted populations? Hard to say for me, since I work on the Great Lakes, but...
Okay, well, I apologize for that, but that was always one of the biggest concerns, that the fishermen would take these small fish because if they took them, it would let the bigger fish get some of the food.
Well, the one thing we are learning about panfish populations is that sometimes releasing the small ones isn't the best idea, but really releasing the big ones may be a better idea, because panfish populations seem to be size structured. The ones that reproduce the best tend to be the bigger fish, and it may be better to release some of the bigger ones from time to time. So.
Well, interesting. Well, I guess I ruined that wrap-up, but let's do it again. Tom, once again, welcome to our sports show, and I hope to see you again next year.
Okay, it's good to be here.
Good, thank you. Well, folks, we're at a wood carving stand, and it looks like all ducks and small animals, small birds. Your name is Terry. What's your last name, Terry?
Shireen.
God bless you. Terry, where are you from, and what's your responsibility here?
Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm irresponsible.
You're good. That's what I like to hear. I know you told me off camera that you don't do this stuff, but explain something about the things that we're holding and seeing.
Oh, they're all hand carved and hand painted, and they're reasonably priced. So
Okay.
call me.
Do you do these things?
No.
Who does?
A friend of mine.
And what's his name?
It's Marty Goodwin.
Okay, because Marty might want to sell some of these things, and this will be on our...
Well, they have to go through me.
This will be on our local community cable TVC. And if they'd like to get a hold of some of these things, I imagine the thing that you have, what would this sell for?
This is... this is $21.50 with the tax included.
Okay, $21.50. That seems like a pretty reasonable deal considering the amount of time and effort that must have gone into this.
Yeah, it is.
Marty, is he doing this for a living, or is this just for
just
a
for
sport?
me? He does it for me.
Yeah,
He likes me.
good. I can't imagine that you could carve this thing for. He must be losing some money. It must be like a hobby.
It is.
Okay. How long would it take to do one of these things? Do you know?
5 or 6 hours, I guess.
So from a block of wood, he can carve this out and paint it in 5 or 6 hours.
Probably. I don't know. He gives it to me and I sell it.
Well, I like it. Well, I'll tell you, one of the interesting features is that the head is carved separate, isn't it? And then dowel pinned onto the body, right? Because you couldn't get a block of wood and carve all that stuff on. Terry, you're doing real good. Terry, you're from Madison. How often do you go to these things? Is this a weekend deal for you?
Once a year.
Once a year? Have you been here before?
Yes, last year.
Okay. How do you like this little sports show?
Do I have to tell the
say it's
truth?
really nice.
Oh, it's really nice.
Good. And look at some of the little things that they've got here. This is probably $1.75. Hey, I might take one of these things, Terry.
Good.
You got anything for about 98 cents?
No.
This is the letter opener, right?
Right. That's right.
Well, okay, Terry. I appreciate the little interview. What else have you got to sell? Is any of this stuff?
Catchers,
Okay.
stones, little cows.
Do you make any of this stuff?
No, I'm not that talented.
Well, anyway, it's a nice display you got, and it was fun talking to you, Terry. I hope to see you again next year. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And when you come in the sports show, one of the biggest exhibits that we have are the sport cards, or the baseball cards and football cards. And I'm standing here with Chris Cooper. Chris, how are you today?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Where are you from, Chris?
I'm from Iguanago.
Okay, that's a kind of a long trip with the snow and all outside.
Give me a long drive home.
How many people are exhibiting cards today?
It looks like we have about 20 dealers here today.
Wow, that's quite a bit. I noticed that earlier in the day you had a seminar. You were given a seminar on card collecting. What all goes on in one of those seminars?
Seminars were explaining. Mine had based on sports card collecting. So I started with the basics of how to collect cards, how to store the cards, what to collect, and what to do with them after you have them, how to store them. Just everything from the basics down to how to invest and what to invest in as far as sports cards are concerned.
Do you have a business then, Chris? Do you do this full time, or explain how you make a living at this?
I don't use this as my income. I just use it to supplement my income. I have a full-time job other than this, but this seems to take up just as much time when I'm not working in my regular job.
So you've got a number of cards here. I imagine these 3 racks are all yours, and of course all these things, and you're
Right.
packaging some Molitor and Yount cards. These seem to be pretty hot.
Molitor and Yount seem to be the hottest items today. Molitor because of the World Series MVP, and Yount because he just recently announced his retirement. So people are jumping on the Yount cards.
And this thing that you're putting them in, what is...
These are just protective holders. You put the individual cards in the holder so then they don't get creased or nicked.
It probably sells for 30
dime.
cents. Oh, a dime, okay.
A dime a piece.
These, I'm not a card collector, Chris, so when I was young enough, of course I guess you don't have to be young enough, old people, all ages do this stuff, but at one time there was these things were sold with very bad tasting sticks of gum. I don't know if that's still the case or...
No, I don't. There's no manufacturers anymore that have gum in the packs anymore. It tends to ruin the cards. The emphasis is now on the cards instead of the gum.
So how are they marketed then? With one card at a time, a number of cards at a time? How does it work?
Well,
is it kind of like a lottery ticket that that they have more cards of one and fewer of the other ones to make the least? Geez, to make some of them more expensive than the others, or how?
Well, the price is established by what people are willing to pay for them. Based on what people are willing to pay for them, it is based upon the availability. Some cards are more limited than the others.
So there are some more scarce cards than other ones.
Oh, definitely, right. Some manufacturers actually hold on to production to certain numbers, whereas other manufacturers tend to keep printing and printing and printing them, so there's so many out there that it brings the value of the cards down.
How many manufacturers of cards are there?
I think there's about 18 different manufacturers of cards themselves.
And that's at the moment, and
right.
Throughout history there probably has been several hundred.
Right,
Okay.
right. But in each of those different 18 manufacturers had different brands of cards. They have their standard card, and they may have a premium card also.
Do these include, some of them included lifetime stats and things on the back?
Right.
Bats right, throws right, that kind of stuff.
Right, like, this is like the Yount rookie card right here. This is a 1975. This seems to be the hottest card around right now since his retirement. And you're right, it does. It shows his stats. At that time, he didn't have very many stats because this card was issued in 1975.
Wow. How did you get this in here? Oh, I see. It's screwed together.
It's screwed down, right. Well, the card's worth $400, so you put it in something like this, so you're guaranteed not to have any damage of the card.
What's the most expensive card that you have here?
Probably this one here today. I have a Michael Jordan card just down here that's valued at $900.
So you're selling more than just baseball cards? It sounds like basketball, football, maybe everything?
Hockey also, right. Yeah, each of the four sports. But right now it seems like the baseball's starting to make a comeback. Just a month ago, football was hot.
How many, I suppose you're right. How many, what's the most expensive card that you ever sold?
I sold a Nolan Ryan rookie card. I think it was for $1,200.
Recently?
That was within last year. But just recently, I sold several Yount cards in the $300 range.
Wow. And when a manufacturer starts making cards, I guess they'd have to do this every year because there's new players every year. Mm-hmm. How many cards do they make? 200, 300, 500,000? I mean, individual cards. How many individual cards? How many
different cards in a set?
How many in a series or a set? Yeah.
In a set, they tend to get up there in the 800 range right now. 8 to 900 cards in a full set.
So if you want to collect a whole set, you're looking at 800.
800 cards, I'd imagine. Yes. Some manufacturers have actually reached 1,000, but when they first started issuing cards, they were in the 500, and then as they started producing, like Nolan Ryan last year probably had 3 or 4 different cards in each set. They had highlight cards, and like Griffey had 3 or 4 different cards in each set, and Frank Thomas. The hotter players tend to have more than one card in each set, so that as they tend to do that, the sets start to increase in size.
Wow. Do people then actually collect or trade complete sets?
Yes.
Or buy or sell complete sets?
Well, what you can do is you can open the packs and put the sets together yourself, or you can buy a set from the manufacturer. The manufacturer also, not only do they sell them in packs, but you can also buy the full factory set, which includes every card of that set.
Just like buying coins from a mint, huh?
Right, exactly.
So an 800 card set from a manufacturer, what would that cost?
It depends on the manufacturer. Usually the low end about $20, $25 for, and the high end probably around $50 for a set.
That's not bad.
No, it's pretty reasonable.
It's kind of for an investment, I guess.
Yes, exactly. But it all depends on the production. Like I said, some manufacturers tend to overproduce, which brings the value down, and some seem to keep the production down to a minimum, which increases in value.
Yeah, instead of paying 20, then you're paying 50 or 60 or whatever it might be.
Right.
Then. Okay, now the big question is, how many of these cards do you have, and how many of these cards are you selling? How many are you keeping? You must have a collection that you don't want to get rid of.
Right. Well, I actually have sort of like 2 collections. One collection of my private collection that I don't sell, and the others is what I have here today. Basically what I do with my private collection, the best that I have I keep in my private collection, and the ones that are maybe a little bit lesser grade or players that I don't necessarily collect, I tend to sell.
And in case something comes along that's better than something's in your collection, you replace.
Well, either that or I'll just have doubles in my private collection, but I have close to a million cards in my collection, including stars and commons.
Now, did you hear that, folks? 1 million. Is that common that a collector would have that many cards, or are you unusual in that regard?
Some of us tend to have that many. A lot of people have thousands of cards, but to have close to 1 million, you have to really be obsessed with this, which I think I am.
I guess you'd have to have. I don't even know how much storage space would 1 million cards take. I have no concept.
It takes a room, a full room in your house, put it that way. Also, it got to a point where I had to have my own room in my house. You know, we lived in an apartment, and it tended to be all cards in the apartment. We bought a house, and one of the rooms in the house was designated as the card room. So.
Are they in shoe boxes, or you got them? You got them in something more permanent or more what?
The majority are in card boxes, 800 count boxes, or some of them are actually in monster boxes that are 5,000 count boxes.
Wow.
The more expensive ones I keep in the holders like this, but that's not all 1 million cards I have in holders like this, but most of them are actually in 5,000 count boxes.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating sport or hobby, and I would guess if you haven't already, it's probably time for some kind of a computer memory for this stuff. Do you have something like that?
There is computer programs that you can actually inventory your cards on. Actually, on the program, they have all the different sets that have been produced up to date, and you can actually put down on a computer how many you have of each card and keep a running inventory and value of your cards.
That's what I'm thinking. If you got 1 million cards, you can't even know what.
Oh no!
You can't even know what you've got. It's kind of like a little EBS territory over by you. Ernie von Schlater. And I don't know if you're familiar from McGuanago. I guess you would be.
Yes, but the way I do that is I have a certain amount that I know that are valuable, and there's a certain amount which are the majority that are just commons. The majority of the 1 million cards are just commons that I don't inventory those. Just the more expensive ones I have inventoried.
Okay. Well, Chris, I appreciate the little conversation. I'm guessing you'll probably be back again next year?
I'll be back next year. Yes,
Good.
I will.
Good. Nice talking to you.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much. Okay, take care.
Yeah. Okay, folks, we're in the one of the seminars offered today. This is the Bass Fishing Techniques Seminar by David Lapine. He's a guide and a lure manufacturer. You can see there's about 30 or 40 people in here today, and each one of these seminars take about an hour. There are 17 seminars or so, and you can see they're quite well attended. Okay, folks, we're in the children's casting area. This is one of the seminars being held at the 4th Annual Sports Show. And I'm with Bob Hammond again, the director of this thing. And Bob, as we're watching it, maybe you can explain what's happening here, what the age group categories are and all that. Bob?
Okay, yeah, this is the first time we're trying this, and it's 2 age categories, from 5 to 8 and from 9 up to 13. And they're divided into 2 groups that way.
Okay. And obviously they're trying to get the casting plug into the red hula hoop or something, the blue hula hoop down there. What do they win if they get it in there?
Marty's got some rods and reels, which have been donated by different manufacturers as prizes, and some other items.
When you say Marty's the guy running the show. What's his last name? And what's he do?
Right, that's Marty Papke. He's the owner of Northbound Fishing and Hunting Outfitters up in Lake Tomahawk, Wisconsin.
It's Lake Tomahawk. You got him for a good distance, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. This is the 3rd year that he's been at our show, and he gives some nice seminars too.
I'll tell you what, Bob. This is a nice show. We just spent about 2 or 3 hours here, and I've got a lot of compliments to pass along to you. You've done a good job. You and your crew have done a good job, and maybe we'll get you a few more spectators for next year and all the other following years. Have you got anything to add?
Well, that's great to hear. I appreciate hearing that. And next year will be our 5th year, and we figure on the 2nd weekend of February.
The 2nd weekend of February. Have you had it the 2nd weekend of February all these years, all these 4 years?
Yes, all 4 years.
Okay. This Silverbrook area really lends itself well to this kind of a seminar, kind of a sports show. Of course, Silverbrook has a lot of features here. The home show is next weekend. A number of things during the year. I'll tell you what. Some of the seminars that you've got here today too. We just stopped at a bass fishing techniques, and you've offered seminars from anywhere from fishing muskies to fishing panfish to fishing walleyes to calling turkeys to collecting cards. You had to be busy during the off season getting all these folks lined up.
Yeah, it involves quite a bit of work lining everything up ahead of time, but we think we got a pretty good show put together.
I'll tell you what, you sure do. And folks out here have seen you with your ankle or whatever the heck it is in the wheelchair. You make it look a lot worse than what it is, I hope.
Yeah, I broke my ankle about Thursday, a week before the show, and I sure didn't need that.
Oh, I guess not. Not only that, we're snowing at the rate of about 2 inches a minute outside. You're going to have to keep that foot dry. I'll tell you what, though, Bob, let's wrap this thing up, and you can count on me being back here again next year. It's been a fun show. It's been lots of entertainment. I hope you get a lot of people tomorrow again, and all the years that you want to keep doing this. Thanks again, Bob, and good luck to you.
Okay, thank you, and I'd like to thank the whole audience for coming to see our show this year. We really appreciate it.
Good. We'll be seeing you again next year, I'm sure.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.